Now I would like to request Mr. Subir Pradhananga, the Chair of Free and Open Source FOSS Nepal, and he is the last keynote speaker today.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Subir Pradhananga from FOSS Nepal community, and I'm working at OA Nepal. So my today's presentation is largely going to revolve around local internet content prospects and challenges in Nepal's context. So before going into what content is, let me just briefly get into this slide regarding the importance of content. We can see many components like for deployment of ICT programs like hardware, connectivity, software, and other things. There has been a lot of emphasis on hardware and connectivity by many companies and many NGOs, INGOs. And there have been a number of deployments focusing on just the hardware. It's not that its importance is less. I'm not saying that the importance is less of the hardware and the connectivity and the software, but the crux of the matter is the real focus should be on the soft aspect of the content from which many people, everyone in Nepal can benefit. For example, there have been many deployments like, for example, we can take telecenters and other deployments. They're not so successful. What's the reason? The main reason being the lack of content. So there were other things, there were many things in planning at the time, but the lacking thing was the content. Where it lacked the most was the content part. So what we can say is technology is just an enabler. It's just a tool. We can take it as a container or as a medium to take things, to take content forward or take the things contained in it forward. And content is what drives the utilization of technology. For example, smartphones need apps, TV and radio channels need programs, computers need software. Likewise, internet needs useful information. So it's the content that fuels the demand of the content, the application or the content that fuels its utilization. So it's not just the technology that we have to look after, but it's the content to which the technology is catering to that we have to focus on. So that's the main thing. So regarding local content, digital content, there is very little information, very less information that we can find in Nepali language on the internet. That's one thing. And the other thing is, even if we find content relevant to Nepal, the content is very limited. It's very less. So what this implies is English. One has to know English language in order to reap the benefits of content or the internet. So one has to know, so the people who don't understand or who do not know how to speak or write in English cannot reap the benefits of internet if they don't know English language. So the demand for internet will grow even more if they understand the language of instruction and delivery, and then the content is useful or meaningful to them, to the people. So what we have to do is the efforts, we have to have some efforts from the government side as well as private and non-government side to have to help build the content. You know, there is a lot of buzz about local content or local digital content. What local internet content is all about. So basically, we can perceive it as in two ways. One is the content that is targeted for local people. It could be in English or it could be in Nepali, whichever language, or in other languages if there is. And the other one is the content generated locally from the grassroots people. So two ways, we can perceive it, the local content in two ways. So if we talk about examples of local internet content, Wikipedia. Wikipedia is there are lots of materials about Nepal and Nepal, in Wikipedia, even in English Wikipedia, there are lots of articles. So that's also, we can call it local internet content. And there is also a lot of effort going on in the Nepali Wikipedia site. So that also we can call it local internet content. There are other examples like e-Pustakalaya, the digital library which is focused for education sector, for the education. And the other one is ePath, which is basically curriculum which is based on local content based on curriculum for primary level students from class 2 to 6 for subjects English, Nepali, Maths, and science. So talking about examples, we can also say there are lots and lots of content being generated these days on the social media side, like videos, there are photos, there are videos, there are audios, and etc. So talking about the prospects and challenges, the first one that comes is the connectivity part. We can take connectivity as both challenge as well as prospect. Prospect in the sense that it has a lot of potential to transport the content, and the challenge in the sense that a lot of people still don't have access to internet and cannot access, even if there is local content, they cannot access it via the internet. And the other one is the speed of the internet. It's still, even though we have reasonable speed in the city areas, the people in the rural areas still, they don't have access to high-speed internet. So they are two of the factors that we can see as challenge, which eventually we hope that will be gradually solved in the time to come. The other one is the bandwidth cost. The cost is still, it still has not come to the point that we can increase, we can have many and more users. And the software part. Software is an important component of creating content, producing content, and so talking about the software costs, we can say free and open source software. There are lots and lots of alternatives available in free and open source software, software and tools which we can use, and it can play a major role in the long-term development of content. These are some of the other points that I have listed down here. I've said teachers and schools can be a prospect as well as challenge for us. Teachers and schools could be great content generators, and not only consumers. At the moment, what's happening is most of them are just being consumers, passive consumers. Like for example, in the case of there have been a number of deployments by OIL Nepal as well as Help Nepal Network and other organizations in schools. And there has been a whopping budget allocated by the government for deploying computers in schools in this year's budget. So we can take it as a prospect, a good prospect in which we can bundle content, whether be it offline. If we can provide them internet access in the days to come, that's even better. Otherwise, if that's not possible, what could be done is we can bundle offline content that's already available and that's being made along with the computers. So 7,000 plus schools is not a small number, right? So we can also take it as a prospect, not only in terms of bundling the content, local content with them along with the computers, but we can also see them as potential content generators in the future, the teachers and the students at the local level. The other point is culture of sharing. Sharing is a culture, and that culture is still missing, and which is really hindering the growth of content, of local content. It's not. I'm not saying so. There have been lots and lots of instances of government agencies not sharing the content, which would other have been really beneficial for lots of people. So, but having said that, there have been cases, like for instance, e-Pustakalaya, the digital library. Authors have shared their materials for the digital library, as well as for lots of materials for Nepali Wikipedia. So there have been cases of not really, culture of sharing is missing, but at the same time there have been good cases of sharing the content by the authors and others. So this can be taken as both a challenge as well as the prospect. The other thing is, people are not willing to contribute. It could be because they're really not willing to contribute, or they are not aware that they can contribute. So there have been consumers rather than content creators. So that's authors have shared their materials for the digital library, as well as for lots of materials for Nepali Wikipedia. Dr. David Wiley in 1998, and it basically, open content describes a creative work which can be shared or modified by others, to others and by others. So basically, open content, what it says is the 4 R's. You can reuse the open content, you can revise it, you can change, you can modify it, you can remix the content with other stuff, and as well as you can redistribute the original content as well as the modified content, depending on the terms of licensing. So some examples, again, open educational resources. It's getting more and more popular these days. The open educational resources. You can, if you type on the internet and on Google, you find in Google, search on Google, you can find lots and lots of materials on open educational resources, OER. Wikipedia. Wikipedia uses Creative Commons license. And e-Pustakalaya. These are some of the examples that comes to my mind about open content. So in open content, there are a number of licenses which the authors can share their work by. But one license that comes to mind, or is one of the main licenses that is being used these days, is Creative Commons, in which the authors, some of the rights of the authors are reserved, whereas they allow other people to use it, reuse it, modify, or share it, and redistribute. So basically, Creative Commons is, there are number of options that one can choose from in Creative Commons licensing. There are basically 6 options, and the conditions could be attribution. Attribution is a must. One has to, if you're sharing the content as using Creative Commons licensing, one has to give attribution to the original author. So the other option could be no commercial use, or no derivative works, or share alike. Share alike, as in the modified version, or the modified version has to be distributed or redistributed under the same or similar licensing terms. So Creative Commons is it's been around 10 to 12 years. So many people still are not aware about this open content licensing, and especially the authors. I think if we can convince the author about these options, alternatives available, I think there will still be a lot of content available. There will be more and more authors will be ready to share their content on the internet. So the other way forward that we can think of is Nepali language tools. Unicode is at the forefront of Nepali language tools. Without Unicode, one cannot. It's just like just putting a face on Nepali face on the English characters. So using Unicode, what we can do is one can search content without Unicode. In the pre-Unicode days, what it used to be was that people couldn't search the text, and even if if you write something, the text in one font, if you share it with others on the internet, he or she must have had that same font to see the content. So if you have, what Unicode has done is, so you don't need to have the same font, you just need to have a Unicode, one Unicode font, and then you can see the content, share the content. So the sharing has become easier, more and more easier because of the Unicode. So this is one of the main things that has come up in the last decade. And also the keyboard fonts and input engine. And the other tool that we can think of is Nepali Linux. So localized version of Linux, which allows one to modify, to see its source code, to redistribute, and other tools like spell checker and grammar checker. With spell checker is already available and for Nepali language, and one can easily use it. Grammar checker is a bit more challenging, so it's not yet there. And there are also possibilities of open source programs and content being localized. So there, I assume most of the people here have heard about Khan Academy videos for in education. So basically, these are open content videos available on the internet, and for lots of subjects like English, math, science, and other. So if you search for Khan Academy and see, you can access it's an open content, and you can access it, download it, share it. So there are lots and lots of materials that could be useful for our local context as well. So localization, if we were able to localize it, so that could also be a good option way forward as far as educational content is concerned. So, and there are other options like CK12 and other stuff as well on the internet. Nepali Wikipedia, as I said, I think most of us or all of us have used Wikipedia at least once or maybe many times, right? So Nepali Wikipedia is basically, there are a group of people who are trying to take it forward. So basically, it's a great source of knowledge for Nepali-speaking people, and but the contribution has to be from it's what we call the crowdsourcing, or the contributions has to be from the people, by us, by all of us, by others, by everyone. So it's not just one author or only a group of authors or a group of people contributing to Wikipedia. So anyone can contribute if you have the knowledge and the skills, if you have the knowledge to contribute in that particular subject in the Wikipedia. So there are other educational tools like e-Pustakalaya and e-Pak, like I just mentioned earlier. So what we can do is enable students from very early grades, from class 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, from primary level. And if there is internet, fine. They can also access it online. But if there is no internet, in which it's in most of the cases, which is true for schools in Nepal, if there is no internet, what can be done, or what is being done, is provide an offline server which provides local content for them, which is useful for them. So one can find lots of, like I said, Khan Academy videos and other local videos which are relevant to our local context. There are health-related videos. There are education-related videos. There is ePart, which is educational tool for classes from classes 2 to 6. You can find Learn English Kids from British Council. You can find maps. You can find Wikipedia for schools. So there, you can also find Sabdakosh dictionary, Nepali dictionary, contemporary dictionary. So there are lots of materials which has the potential to transform our education, or which can by using which we can transform our children, our students from early grades, from the primary level. So we can lay a good foundation for them to, as future content generators or content contributors, producers. So mobile devices, we can also use mobile devices as a good way to reach out to the masses. Even if there is no, they don't have reach to the hardware or to personal computers, mobile has farther reach than the traditional hardware that's being used. So mobile can be used as a very good means to reach out to the grassroots, to deliver content as well as to produce content from their side. So hashtags in Twitter and other social media. So most of the people, I think, are familiar with Twitter and other social media, right? So hashtag, using hashtag could be a really good way to search content, relevant content. So there could be thousands and thousands of materials or content available on the internet regarding one particular topic, or let's say about an event, about this event. But if we don't put hashtags, one cannot find all the relevant content at once or easily. So you have to dig for the information by yourself. So this could potentially be a very good way, putting hashtags in Twitter and other social media to make the search more relevant to the local context or to the subjects, to the topics that one is searching for. Coming to the end of my slide, what I would like to add is there is no dearth of local content if we are talking about physical content. There could be there are ample lots and lots of local content available, but the only thing is that maybe it's not digitized, it's copyrighted, and we cannot use it on the internet, we cannot share it with others. There could be lots, thousands and hundreds of thousands, millions of documents available, it could be there, but because of constraints, licensing constraints, or because of not being able to digitize content, that we are lacking content. So those could be things that we could utilize, and those could be put on the internet, the relevant local content. So by saying this, I would like to thank you all for listening to me. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Subir, for bringing local context about the local content.